Hey guys, Kelly Lynn on here again, and I just got in my January Sketchbox. So here it is. Oh, look how pretty it is. Let's just do a quick scan. I think we need to back out just a little bit. There we go. La 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 la. And because my hubby is so amazing, he actually got me a new year subscription, which happened to overlap. So congratulations, Mom. You're finally getting your own Sketchbox for you to try. Let me know if you like it. Okay, so. Sketchbox for January. Okay, now that I've got my excitement out of the way, let's begin. It literally just showed up at the door. Grab our little X-Acto knife and cut this guy open. The picture on the front is really, really pretty. This owl, this owl is really pretty. Let's see what we have inside today. Okie dokie. Welcome to the Acrylic Ink Premiere Box. Nice. I have been dabbling with acrylic inks a while back for Halloween, doing some large cutouts. So let's see what we're gonna get here today. Okay. We got some acrylic ink, some calligraphy ink, some brushes, a pencil, a liner. We got a cotton pad. I've never worked on a cotton pad, and we have a plastic palette. Okay. Stick this over here, and I'll read that to you guys as I pull it out. The first up, we have, I believe it's called Holbein. It's an acrylic ink. It's Naphthol red. Naphthol red. And it's a light one. This highly versatile ink is hyper pigmented with a very low viscosity. Try using it with a dip pen, water brush, or refillable marker. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to just pause for a second because I forgot to pack water for today. So let me put this down. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. We got some water. I got some brushes over here. Let's just snag one basic one. Okay, I just grabbed a wide brush one. Let's get this guy open. Red is always like a great color to do. Let's see. So it's very on the opaque side. That's nice. Permanency. Ooh, that's going to be a good one. We're going to use this very, very briefly today. Okay. It even can be used in an airbrush. That's pretty cool. Okay, not great for fabrics, it looks like. So let's pop this little guy open and see how he is. I'm gonna go ahead and wet my brush first a little bit just to make sure that the bristles are all happy. And let's see, do I have anything good to put the acrylic paint on today? No, so let's just see how this goes. Ooh, it's very wet. This sort of just dripped out, so I was trying to push it up like I do with a lot of my acrylic inks, which are a little bit thicker, but this is way closer to like a watercolor. My first instinct with it is that it reacts a lot like the Japanese sumi paintings, where you have the red highlights to do, you know, your flowers, or to do like a really good just writing at the bottom of your painting. It's really vivid. It's, like I said, it's really watery, but it applies really, really quickly. Let's see. I'm gonna add water to my brush, and let's go see if it does take down the opacity a little, so it does act a little bit like a watercolor. But I'm guessing that once it dries, it's not gonna be workable again. Yeah, see here we can see that hard edge where the dye, where I had originally placed it down. If we can lift that up, then it's coming up a little, but not a whole lot. This is a great little color. Pairing this with the ink box from October would be a really good find. Okay, so once again, that is our acrylic ink, and I got high votes for it. Okay, next on our list is the Speedball acrylic calligraphy ink. We have two colors. So here we are, two colors. We've got a blue and we've got a yellow. They're waterproof when dry. This very vivid ink is acid-free and very light fast. This month we're showcasing the Prime Rose Yellow and Indigo Blue colors. Try in combination with Scarlet Red from October for the full primary set. So once again, like I said, I had not gotten the October set. I knew the October set was ink, and I just said the acrylic ink would be good. These actually were, there was a buddy, the red buddy was in the October one. So I'm not sure how to start off using these. I mean, we can go brush, or I can pull up my pine rule. Let's go for the brush. Okay, let's go blue first. Okay, it's well packaged. Gonna stick that back in there for now. I love to get things all over me. Okay, make sure I get all the red off before we dip this guy in. In fact, grab a paper towel. Make sure we're really dried off. Okay. Already, it looks very vivid on my brush. Oh, and just like the acrylic ink, it goes on. It's a little less opaque than the red. It seems to have a little bit more translucency to it. Let's make sure that's not just my brush. So I'm gonna make sure my brush is really bone dry right now. It's only got the blue on it. There we go. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I had a little bit of water on my brush, which was causing it to dilute, but it's still more transparent than the red is without water. It's very reactive. It seems to have it lives long on the brush, which is nice. I'll have to try it in some other mediums and see how that goes. So we just paint a weird mountain landscape up there. But let's try off this yellow too. It looks like a very, very vibrant yellow. Like I might be making a highlighter. There you go. Maybe. Yep. How to get things all over your stuff. Okay. It's always fun when it's waterproof and it hits your Polartec sweater and you're just like, oh no. Okay. Let's see how this yellow looks. Okay. I've dried off my brush completely, so it's bone dry as we're going into this. Okay. It's very solid. I would say that this is more solid than the blue was even. I'm seeing less of my white behind me, whereas I'm seeing some white like here. You can see where it's sort of faded in tone. This seems to be very consistently a single red. I'm not seeing any white come through these strokes at all. Now, let's go fancy. Let's see how this goes on top of each other. Okay, so like acrylics, it's really bold and going on, so you know right off the bat that this is yellow, but we're starting to get that green fade transition, and I wonder if that's because I'm applying the yellow in a lighter stroke or if we are actually starting to mix. So no, we are actually mixing, so this does have a very good mix quality to it. Look at that, that's actually making a really nice green that we can actually pick up and move elsewhere. Oh, if you can get that two-toned on your brush. So here, let's go in with the yellow and add yellow down there. And come back in here and do like a roll sort of thing. Where I just want the green on the top and I want the yellow below. Come down here and do some funness. Oh, that comes out really nice. Okay. I've been really into watercolors the last couple months, so using these to transition into something more permanent and more layering, I I am excited to try this. So once again, these were the Speedball acrylic calligraphy inks. And we did that with a brush, with just a very basic round brush. Okay, just need to get rid of the covers. Cover these guys back on because yellow, a little bit of bubble on the yellow. Okay, so let's put away this brush, which is not part of the set. And go ahead and we're gonna pull out the Dynasty dagger brush. Here we go. Is this the guy yet? Yep. So here we have the Dynasty dagger brush, really well packed so you know nothing's gonna happen to it. Let's pop this guy open. My first instinct right off the bat is it looks very similar to the silver brush that we get in one of the previous ones, but actually now as I open it up, I can see that the bristles here are way coarser, like significantly coarser. And in fact, the tip of them still like, I'm trying to break up the edging to see if it's, you know how when you get new brushes, they're a little bit stiff because they're packaged together and they don't want the bristles to break on transit. Well, the tips of these are still very stiff, like they still have the glue on them. Okay. Let's try this out. So it says that this is great for thin and thick lines. This brush creates sharp and dynamic marks. Okay, and once again, here is the name of the product. So with 3/8 brush, let's jump into blue again. I like the blue. Okay, so I'm doing dry brush into blue with this guy. So he holds it really well. It's not dripping off. So that also is a sign of the thickness of the ink. Let's see. He's got a very nice spread. Let's see if we can dip for a thin line because it says it can do thin lines too. Oh yes. This is, I guess because of the stiffness of the brush, it is allowing you to really control. Even when I'm pushing down using the edge, we're not flaring out as much as if we're using the side of the brush. So this is a very diverse brush. It's going to let you be able to do some large area fills, but also go in and do some really, really close details. So that's going to be really fun. This is by far one of the stiffest brushes I think I've worked with. I mean, I have not gone out of my way to really try to get really expensive brushes. I'm still in the learning stages of things, so this brush is probably epically stronger than, or higher quality than a lot of the brushes I have. Like if you saw the brush before, I believe I picked that up at Walmart for like $2. This one, in case you're wondering, the price difference is going to cut you back $11.70. But it's very versatile as we see, and it holds a good chunk of ink in the narrow fields, but not so much in the wide fields. And that could be just because I didn't fill the well up far enough. But that is pretty cool. Okay. Our next up is a Graphite pencil. Let's see if we can find him. Here we go. Okay, so here we have a Caran d'Arche Graphite Pencil H3. I'm a fan of the H's. The blacks are just a little bit dark for me and messy. Okay, so it says that this is great for setting down light lines and sketching out your piece before going in with ink. Let's just sketch out, you know, the eye, the giant eye that we all practice in art class. So let's say we're sketching out the eye. It is a good R3. It's more of an octagonal design, if you can see. So instead of it being round, it definitely has some flat edges, so it doesn't slide as much in your hand, which is nice. The lead is soft enough still that you can go in and you can do some shading and shadowing around things. Now the big thing about if you're going in and you're doing sketching and stuff like that, you're going to want to be able to remove the pigment at some point of time, or your ink. So I'm just going to grab an acrylic eraser and just come in here with it. And yes, we're going to erase. It erases pretty cleanly. It's a very, very light line, and based on the opaqueness of these paints, I bet that it won't be too much of an issue. And of course, most of the time when you paint with inks like this, I'll have to let this dry to test this out, but so we'll go in here and we'll paint in our thing. Let's see if it covers up the graphite lines already naturally. So that we come in here and we're doing a blue eye. Yeah, the Speedball paint's really nice. I'm jealous of those now who got the October box. I may have to go back and purchase it for all those inking supplies to do the Sumi black and white stuff with the red Speedball ink. So once again, if you had October, you have the full set of the Speedballs. Okay, so as we can see, I don't see many of the lines straight off through the paint yet, so we'll come back in a little while, and I just want to see if I was leaving more white areas and I left the pencil and I wanted to clean up the pencil later, how that's going to react. But so far, good pencil. Okay, next up we have a Staedtler. Here we go. We have the Staedtler Pigment Liner. Now I'm a fan of Staedtlers. I do a lot of bullet journaling, and these guys are sort of a go-to pigment liner color supply. I've never tried this guy. He looks like he's a chisel. Oh, look at that. That's a super fine chisel. So calligraphy seems to be a big push point of this box. It says that it's lightweight and waterproof. This calligraphy pen, of course, is great for line work and styles with variance in line weight. So we use the edge to do a thin line, and then if we go onto the chisel here, there we go. Use the chisel to your calligraphy. I am not trained in calligraphy, but it does lead to that. So you have the very thin line to point off, and then you can lean into the wider edge. I apologize, guys. I'm a little tripping over my tongue today. I'm super excited about these boxes. It's fine. As far as we come to liner pens, I'm actually a little bit more thrilled with the previous liner pen that we had been using, which, let's see if I have it on me right now. There we go. Box of stuff, guys. Now that's the Zyma. I have to find it, but there was a different liner pen that we were using that was a 0.1 that I was just more wowed with from the previous box. And yes, I cannot find it at this exact moment. But this is just not as dark. Like, let's zoom in for a minute on our stuff. So as you can see, it's sort of more of a gray. There we go. It's more gray than anything else. And yeah, I can't find I think it was a Pigma, but here we have the Mangata. And just to do next to it, this one even seems a little bit darker in comparison to, I mean, you're not going to get the calligraphy lines out of this guy, but it's just not as black as I would want it to be. That's my only downside with this pen so far, but maybe this will give me a wider range that maybe I can go back with another pen, a darker pen, and really work with it. I don't have the one I have been using, but here we have just a Micron 1, which is my typical go-to black. And you can see just like even right next to it, the difference in the quality of the black. So not as black, but so far I don't have a calligraphy pen this size, so that'll be fun to use, and it gives me the ability to go back with my microns to outline the image to make those words pop more. So both for journaling and for drawing, that could add a large range of things that we can do. Okay. Next up, we have the Magnani cotton pad. Okay. So here we have the Magnani pad, and once again, a tiny one, but it allows you to do a test of the material without feeling like you're designated to be using the entire thing. This Sketchbox exclusive has 10 sheets, is 104 pounds cold pressed paper, which is perfect for wet media, thick and absorbent. This paper makes work with acrylic ink fast and easy. So as usual, it pairs well perfectly with what's in the box. Here we have, you can see the edge of it. It is quite heavy. It has a very good weight to it. It's got, clearly, I think it's got some like actual pieces of cotton in here. I'm like pulling off fibers. But I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a little bit of blemishes in here, and you can tell that's maybe where the cotton was, or perhaps I'm just weird. Let's see, is it on the back side of papers? That first page might just be odd for me. Leave me a comment below if you get this box too and you find that you have some like fuzz ingrained in your paper, so it comes off as flaky. But it feels very nice. It's got a very great texture to it. In fact, you can almost see it in the camera, I think. A little bit. Trying to find the perfect way to cast a shadow on this. There you go. You can see a little bit of the texture here. So it's more textural than the last watercolor book that we got. The size is perfect. I mean, 4x6 if you're doing anything and you want it to be in an easy set frame. Perfect. And the thickness is nice, and I do look forward to trying it out later today. I'm going to try to do a conception art of my OC character that I'm going to be trying to use for my channel. So I'm going to try doing a version of her. I'll do it on this paper, and I'll have it posted soon. Okay, our last thing in the box is pretty straightforward, and maybe I should have pulled it out earlier. And it's just simply a little signature Sketchbox plastic palette. This is included so you can mix your colors. Remember to mix a little more than you expect to use, because you would really hate to mix the color that you want and mix it perfectly, get into your project, and then realize that you're going to try to mix that exact color again. It's possible, it's tedious, but pretty simple. It doesn't have like any bend to it, so that's pretty good. It's got its written right on here, like laser printed on. Well-wise, it's got a decent well. Here, see if we can say that. There we go. It's very smooth. There's no rough edges on it, so seeing that we only have 3 colors, you can pretty much mix your 3 colors and your secondaries in this and be good to go, which I think I'm going to be doing soon. Okay, and then just for fun, here is the artist's work. So here we have that yellow, we have that blue, we have that red, and it looks like we have the calligraphy pen around. It looks like she's even mixed in some greens into her skin tones. I'm curious how she got the skin tones though out of this box. I'm not certain. That's a really hard one to do. Like, I can see sort of how she gets this. If you do like the yellow and the blue together and really water it down, you'll end up with that color, but I'm curious to see if I'm able to make a skin color as well. And let's switch it over. So this is Eric Garant, and I'm going to leave this on the screen. Pause if you'd like to read their full thing. And there's their Instagram account at the bottom. Okay. So pretty awesome stuff. That is everything in the box, and here is our sticker this month. Little ink jar. Super cute. Add that to the collection. And just to go back and recap, we have the palette, we have the paper, we have the Staedtler calligraphy liner, then we have, then we have an H3 Karen Darch Swiss made craft wood pencil, which has a very nice feel to it. I like the fact it's octagonal. Then we have the Dynasty dagger brush, which I'm super excited to continue trying to use. The fact that it's stiff bristles really gives you a great control over how thin that line is. Then we have the Speedball paints in indigo blue and primrose yellow, which mix very well. And then we have our acrylic ink in the red light, which is super strong. I'm curious to see how they're going to mix with the Speedball in my painting, but I'm sure it's going to come out great. Okay. So once again, guys, let's see if we can spin that this way so you can see it all in one shot. Here's what we got in today's box. It was very fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope my mom enjoys too. Great. See you guys next time.